Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are in the world. So this is the HCast episode 24. Hope you're all doing very, very well, ladies and gents. And that intro was brought to us courtesy of Culture Casino. So thank you so much.
No
But
worries.
you did make it. So
I did. Don't tell
well,
anybody.
thank you. I won't. So we've got a pretty full-on show kind of today. We've got lots to talk about. I mean, primarily, we will be looking at the Marvel's teaser trailer. We'll look at that a little bit later. We've got, of course, to talk about Super Mario Brothers movie, it being a huge record breaker, absolutely dominated the box office, rightfully so as well. And then we have a whole lot of Star Wars Celebration news and the whole sort of fuckery that was surrounding that, because that was an epic, just goodness me, what were they thinking? So it's a pretty full on show with topics, not a lot of topics, but there you have it. If you want to join in on any of these topics whilst we go through this today, use the super chat function. It's a great way to chime in on the topics. We'll be sort of covering some bits and pieces, and then we'll skip over to super chats, get your 2 cents worth or a few dollars worth, as it were, and then we'll dive into everything else as well. So hit that thumbs up button on your way in, and would appreciate it if you check out the second channel where all of these live streams go after they are live. So that's linked down below as well. I am joined with, well, there you go. I'm joined by Tom and Culture. So Culture Casino and Tom Connors. Tom Connors, of course, of Midnight's Edge and Midnight's Edge After Dark. How are you doing, good sir?
I'm doing the best I can. It's been a day already, I guess. I can't complain too much because the weather's finally nice where I'm at. So
it's been raining here all day today.
Oh, yeah. It's been 70, 75 degrees the last 2 days. Fahrenheit, not Celsius, obviously.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So did it get all the snow yet?
Oh, it's all gone now. I've been grilling the last 2 days, wearing shorts, chilling.
Check you out.
Yeah, that's like heat wave here.
Yeah, dude, that's socks and sandals weather in your neck of the woods.
Socks. Psh.
You ain't got time to wear socks.
You got no time for that nonsense.
And of course, we've got Culture Casino. How are you doing?
Wonderful. It's a lovely day, and I thought we weren't going to have anything to cover, and then we were blessed with some things.
I've always got topics.
I think we knew we were going to get the Marvels trailer, and I mean, I think we all anticipated the reception, but I think we're going to get into that.
Yeah, we will. I don't even want to give you my quick 2 cents worth, to be fair, because there's a lot to dive into. But I think first and foremost, let's take a look at, of course, the Super Mario Brothers, because it absolutely dominated the box office. It really, it killed it. Now, of course, this is, it is a 5-day weekend. It's a Wednesday.
You're wrong. Grace Randolph said it was going to die off Friday.
It did die Friday.
Oh, that was right. Yeah, she said it wouldn't even
Friday.
Friday.
It didn't make it to Friday.
Yeah, I could. Oh, goodness me! Thank you so much for checking out that video as well, guys, from the previous live stream. That video is done very well. You guys seem to really enjoy that. We've been called a bunch of incels and misogynists, though, but
oh lord,
it's a small price to pay for ripping on stupidity. So, like the Super Mario Brothers, it's the highest grossing opening weekend for an animated film ever. So it dethroned Disney, Frozen 2. So it smashed that into oblivion. And lots of people, I did a video on it. I was like, look, Disney's going to be really embarrassed by this. They're going to be really annoyed. And people are like, why? Why do you think they care? And I'm like, oh, no, they're going to care. Like, unequivocally, they're going to care. Disney were the name in children's/family entertainment, and they've been dethroned by Nintendo, because that's who it is. I mean, it's an Illumination animation, but it's Nintendo, and they just rocked up and killed it. Absolutely killed it with a film which was massively deserving. So it's not just that, guys. Like the records are pretty high, to be fair.
Yeah.
So it's the biggest worldwide opening for an animation ever. It's the best Illumination ever, biggest video game adaptation ever. It's also just in the 5 days, it's the 4th biggest Hollywood animation globally since the pandemic began. So that's going to just go up and up and up because that's going to keep eating money up more and more. But not only that, it's the biggest animated opening of all time in 10 markets. The biggest video game adaptation opening ever in 44 markets. The biggest Illumination debut in 30 markets. Biggest Universal bow in 12 markets. So not the biggest Universal opening in markets as well. I mean, it's absolutely killed it. And it goes to what you were saying before, Culture, 4-quadrant film. Yep. And they're saying, oh, we're now looking at a potential 1 billion. No, I don't see why it wouldn't. Like, I mean, that's, unless there's like some severe things going on.
And like there's a good chance this is going to have some huge legs, because we did a poll in our audience the other night. Ooh. And 20% or so of the audience had seen it already. 20% of the audience or so had said they didn't plan on seeing it at all. But the rest of the audience said they were planning on seeing it. So that tells me there's a large amount of people yet that still have to see this movie. And there's a lot of people where it's a lot like Spider-Man No Way Home. I'm already getting a lot of people messaging me like, I've seen it 3 times. Yes. I've seen it 5 times, stuff like that. So like people are going over and over and over. And that to me is exactly what you need for a film to have the potential like this to hit, over 1 billion and way into the 1.5 billion range, probably.
Yeah. Well, it has to have that rewatch value at the end of the day, doesn't it? It has to have people wanting to keep coming back to it, keep watching it. And I think like I don't see why it wouldn't have that either, for everything that we've seen of it. I don't see why it wouldn't have that rewatch value.
Consider the strong hold it had on Sunday, right? Which is an actual religious holiday. I mean, it held in there with, only dropping 39% from the Saturday, but that was still $34 million. So, then we had yesterday's box office coming in over 20 million, and that's a Monday. So I'm like, unless the box office falls off a cliff, I don't know, Tom, what do you think? Do you think we're going to have consistently like 15 million plus days the rest of the week, or what do you think?
Well, it's still spring break for a lot of schools, so that's potential right there.
Right.
See, because like where I live in my area, they went to school last week, but I think they get a few extra days on the other end here, or they get this whole week off or whatever. And then, I mean, you've got the next weekend coming up. I don't see it having the kind of drop that a Marvel movie would have normally.
No, it's
or
not.
Even most kids' movies, for that matter, to be honest with you.
I don't think this is as front-loaded as any of those properties. No. But also, one thing to consider, it did nearly 400 million worldwide without opening in
Japan,
and South Korea, I think it was, wasn't it?
Yep, Japan.
So pretty major markets for Nintendo.
It's not just
the biggest base,
property.
Right?
Yeah, it is like the biggest possible property location.
Kind of their jam, I don't want to stereotype, but I mean, it is.
They're already a little pissed. They got to wait a few extra weeks, I guess.
That is a bad plan but see, it's going to give it that $200 million boost that it's going to get right after.
I'm sure it has to do with there's probably, and if somebody in the audience knows, please fill me in. The way they usually stagger these, they don't anymore with the way these worldwide releases go. They don't usually stagger it unless there's a good reason. So maybe there's a holiday coming up in Japan here in like 2-3 weeks or whatever it is that they're saving it for.
Yeah.
But that's all I can see why they would have waited.
Here's the weird thing. I see the Japanese open alone, just in Japan, $100 million just in their open.
I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility.
That's a lot of money. Crazy. And that's
I think again another thing which I find so hilarious about this, because when I did that video, like Disney are embarrassed was the title, and you get all the Disney butt lickers dropping in, going, they're not embarrassed, shut up, blah blah blah. I'm like, but they are going to be embarrassed because Mario in its opening weekend has done almost what Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania did in its entire run.
Well, and you can
its entire run.
This is true.
Yeah, Tiger Valley confirmed what I was saying. So it's a holiday in It's called Golden Week.
Golden Week, massive Japanese holiday. There you go. We got Nick dropping in here now from Echo Base Network.
What's going on, guys?
Hi, Nick.
Not bad. We're just talking about Mario's opening weekend.
It's killing it. Killing it. I couldn't be happier for the movie.
Destroying it. Absolutely destroying it. Doing really, really well. Almost $400 million opening weekend.
I'm just waiting for Grace Randolph's next video
Backpedal
on that. Yeah. She's got major code to eat.
One of my audience members sent me a clip from her reaction to the Marvels trailer today, and I know we're going to be getting to that at some point. But
I just watched it.
She struggled trying to find something good to say about the Marvels.
Well, that's interesting, isn't it? I mean, well, let's not get too deep into that just yet, obviously. But yeah, look, Mario has done very, very well. Very happy for it. It's deservedly so. There are some idiots online, and I will point blank say they're idiots. I'm happy to own it. I have conviction behind my words. I literally just commented about an hour ago on Tim Pool's video of Super Mario Brothers, and he says it's a 6 out of 10 on the woke scale. He thinks it's woke. I'm like, look, mate,
I saw that.
I'm like, I don't even think you fucking watched the movie.
There were some people trying to defend him, saying he was kidding. I'm like, okay.
No, he's just an idiot. He's an absolute idiot. And this is the problem with a lot of people, because there are unfortunately individuals with the same kind of mindset that do watch our channels as well. I'm not saying you're all stupid, by the way. That's not what I'm saying.
No.
But there are people that have become so hypersensitive to these things, they fail to notice the written narrative which allows those things to happen and remove it from that woke concept. Like they're like, oh well, like Tim Pool's like, well, Peach is a girl boss. She managed to do the thing once in one go. It's like, yeah, she was raised by the Toads. She was raised in the Mushroom Kingdom. And they're like, oh well, why is she ripping on Mario's height? Because that's the first human she's ever seen. And Mario does have a diminutive height to anyone. So you would normally be like, oh, you're a bit small. She's never seen another human. That's the first human she's actually seen. It's literally in the film. So you would go, oh, you're a bit short. Because she's only got herself as a reference point.
Right.
And people get this bizarre tunnel vision when it comes to these topics, which don't even have to be a thing, right? It's not a sensitive thing. You don't have to be sensitive about this. It's a kids movie. It's a very harmless, good kids movie. It is neither, and this is the situation, right? Because Tim Pool chimed in because he's like, well, the conservatives are liking it. No. It's literally get your head out your ass. There's no right wing or left wing here. It's literally, this is a normal film, Tim. This is a normal film. They do exist, and they don't have to sit any side of any war, any culture war, because the Japanese don't give a fuck. They are neither right wing nor left wing. They've just given you a family film with normal messages. That's all it is. It's not anti-woke and it's not woke. It's normal. They do exist. So anyway, I thought that was somebody chime in on that.
Yeah, I'm all about calling out the wokeness and stuff, but not everything is woke.
Not everything is part of this.
I mean, I remember when Maverick came out. I remember seeing comments out there like, "This film's woke." Didn't know how convenient the girl pilot is the one selected. I'm like, what? All right, that's a little bit of a stretch.
Selected. I mean, there are good girl pilots out there.
Yeah,
what's the issue? Like.
I was like, yeah, that's stretching a bit much there, pal.
Look, the one line did rub me the wrong way, but we've had a lot of examples where one line has come up in a film where it didn't really affect the rest of the movie, and a lot of people have jumped at shadows because of it. Yes. That I understand, and in this respect, though, I don't get where they're getting this from. Even because I even pointed out, I'm surprised they're not making a big deal out of, more of a big deal out of her making fun of his height than anything, like these sensitive fuckers when it comes to this shit. But no, I mean, at the end of the day, what's the difference? The difference is Mario wasn't delegated to the side when it came to the end of the story, regardless of how he was treated by characters. That part doesn't matter. It's how they react at the end of the day. It's like people misunderstand the whole thing with The Last Jedi. It's like Well, the bigger problem there is you had a character who was built up in The Force Awakens, a character that we've known for 3+ movies at this point, and you're trying to basically tell us this is where he's at. No, he's a grumpy, he's given up, and at the end of the day, he literally phones it in. And if that had happened to Mario, had he been just kind of sidestepped for Princess Peach at the end of the film, that'd have been a different story. If not to spoil the film, but like if she had been the one to save the day, that had been a different story, right?
Like also,
yeah, that's the only thing I had a problem with too, is like her saying that she got it the first time. Yeah, the only reason I think it's rubbing us the wrong way is just because of the day and age. If it was 20 years ago, I don't think it'd have mattered.
No,
it didn't rub me the wrong way at all. And I also think as well, what's important to note is that, she commented on his height, but again, she only had herself as a reference point to go off of what humans look like, right? And she wasn't an arsehole to him. She liked Mario. There was like an endearing chemistry between the two of them. She wasn't an arsehole, she was genuinely worried and concerned for him when he and Donkey Kong went off the Rainbow Road. It wasn't like, oh, whatever, who cares? I'll do this without you. It was, oh my God, like, are they safe? Are they okay? Like, it's not, this is what I mean, not everything. This is why Tim Pool needs to stick to just reading
my bigger gripe
headlines
with that scene. Yeah.
Because he just doesn't he's fundamentally too tunnel visioned on this left versus right nonsense. Not everything has to be so tribal.
Well, my issue was a bit more storytelling in that scene, because I was starting to talk about it the other day, but then we moved on. But like, because they show in the beginning of the film, Mario goes through a very similar situation, going through all like the stuff, the construction site and all that kind of crap, setting it up for him to be good at this stuff. And then when he actually is put into the test, he never actually even finishes the test. That's what pissed me off. Like, I could understand him failing the first or second time, but you've already shown he's good at this stuff, right? Like, he jumps through the town doing all that stuff. It's like, okay, you set this up, so why don't you just have him at least succeed by the third or fourth try, because he's already done this? Like, that's the difference to me. Like, that was more of a storytelling thing to me. It had nothing to do with her per se. Is like, you just showed all this stuff in the first 10 minutes of the movie. Pay it off here.
Yeah, I see. I think that's certainly a valid point, but I still would say that, I don't know. It's valid, but I mean, there weren't bricks falling out from underneath him, and like,
but like, you showed that
bullets firing at him.
You showed that scene. You're like, okay, you already set this up that he's kind of good at this stuff, right? Like, and that's where you could have also said, I may be small, but at least I can get through this little, like, have a part where he maybe does something a little different than she does in the maze that uses his height to an advantage or something.
Yeah. Well, he was capable, but then he was also capable of growth. So,
right. Oh yeah, they let him grow by the end. I'm not saying that's the problem. That was my only minor gripe with that scene, really.
I still enjoyed the ending. I thought, once again, I mean, this is a family film. The family is front and center from beginning and all the way to the end. It's a wonderful story of brothers in the end. And like I said, if you go and see this, as many of the folks in the audience have, if you look at the chat, there's several people here commenting on it. It's a good film. It is a family film. It doesn't have to be any deeper than that. It doesn't have to, there doesn't have to be a soliloquy. There's no lecture. Films can just be entertaining, and that's that's what we are at the end of the day.
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, you should.
Yeah, I'm gonna go see it, but I just,
well, he's that close in the audience. There you go.
I still haven't seen John Wick 4.
You're letting everyone down, man.
Oh no,
I haven't seen that either, but I understand that's long.
I'm trying to fit the time in to make it to the movie, especially this last weekend with Celebration going on and Easter Sunday.
Yeah,
I had family and stuff over, so yeah, it was tough to get to the movies.
I'm taking a little less of it. I know you always give me shit, but a lot of the reason besides driving that I've been taking less of a chance with a lot of films, and Mario is one that I felt confident in, is because look at all the movies that are hitting video on demand quicker than shit.
Oh, it's amazing.
I just watched Shazam.
Yeah.
I'm glad I waited.
Yeah.
Oh, is that out on?
I watched 65 already right now too. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to check that.
Yeah, it got pushed out really quick. I'm just gonna. So we're just gonna jump to some super chats real quick, and then I see Andre sat there in the wings.
Yes,
someone shot him an invite.
He said he was available. That's all right.
Didn't bother to tell me.
Nice
No, it's all right. Of course, it's all good. He's my dude. So we got Pilgrim Media for $2. Says Brie should be a baby mama, then acting and calm. I don't. Yeah, I guess I don't know really.
I think he's talking about the Marvels trailer.
Should be then acting and calm.
Well, yeah, she did do that video talking about. Oh no, that wasn't her. Never mind. Forget everything I was about to say.
Okay. All right. So we got a £20 super sticker from Al Humphreys, and it is a dude looking in a mirror saying thanks for being you. So thank you so much, Al. Really do appreciate that. And also, just as a quick one, Larry Quadowitz gifted 5 memberships of the channel, so that goes a long way to helping out, guys. If you do want to join the channel, it does help out quite a lot. You get free monthly super chats as well. So yeah, become a member of the channel or a Patreon. They're all beneficial ways to support the channel. So we just scroll back up. So Night King for $4.99 says, need to say something about Akira. Did anyone hear that Waititi was going to do a Jodorowsky, the Incal adaptation? That seems more his wheelhouse, not Akira. Yeah. So
this has been going around.
So yeah, he's been on board for Akira for a little while, and it just resurfaced that it's still happening. I did a video on this today. There couldn't be a worse pick for Akira. Akira's a great. It's what it is. To me, it's the best anime. It is the best anime. I love it. It's a visual masterpiece. It's just beautiful and obviously horrifying all at the same time. And why? No, Taika. No, it's not for you, mate. This is the worst pick possible. I don't know. Have you guys watched Akira or not?
I haven't. I don't know anything about it.
It's an incredibly famous anime.
Yeah, I knew it was anime. I know of it. I just haven't seen it.
Yeah, it is so incredibly famous.
What?
Yeah.
Why would they pick him?
I fucking no idea.
Honestly,
literally no idea.
You know what? I think this is we're looking at the wrong side of this story. Akira's probably never going to happen. The fact that Taika Waititi isn't being in talks of anything right now, I think, is a sign that his Star Wars project's dead.
No. This has long been in the works.
I know, but so has some couple other things. So has a couple of other things. And he just finished, I believe he would have just been finishing up Time Bandits. So he's ready to start some work. He's obviously not moving into another Thor movie as he probably expected to. That project he's supposed to be working on, the Flash Gordon project's been just sitting and languishing almost as long as this project has. Again, I don't know if there's any real movement on it other than maybe him trying to push some movement in the press to get his name back out there. Because I wonder if we're going to start to hear that his Star Wars project fell apart because it wasn't one of the big things they were talking about at the celebration.
No, well, we'll get to that because it was mentioned, but that's another topic anyway. So we'll shuffle on just real quickly. So the ZXK whatever for $10 says long time mistake viewer. Here's some beer money. I'm not going to try. Sorry, mate. Like I'm going to butcher that if I try and put that into words. So thank you so much. I do appreciate it. If you want to support the show, you want to drop in a buck. You also want to get your comment discussed. Super chat's a really good way of doing it, and it genuinely does help out.
Nate.
Yeah, I'm partial to some beer every now and then, like a Pilsner, like a Pilsner, but not at the moment, alas. No.
I figured while you were on your regiment, it was probably no drinking for you.
Nah, sadly, I've had enough. Marcos A, nice to see you, dude, for $19.99 says, I took my 6-year-old nephew to see it Thursday evening. It was packed with families and kids. We loved this movie, and I bought him the Mario and Luigi racetrack car set. It was $60. Kids are buying them much like crazy. I mean, look, even I want to go out and buy a Nintendo Switch now to play Mario Kart. Right? So
you still haven't done that?
No, it's on my Amazon. I've been looking at it. It's all on Amazon.
Right.
Because I'm weighing it up. I'm like, well, I could get this one with this pack, and it's like £100 more. I'm like, oh, I don't really know what to do. So, super chats.
Right.
But yeah, no. Pay for my Nintendo Switch. No, don't.
That's right.
Anyway, Davey Crotch Kick sent a 2 Canadian a $2.99 super sticker, which is a Shiba dog with a big smile on his face, tilting his head. So thank you so much. Do appreciate that. Nikki drops in, says Peaches is the best song of 2023. They did release the video to that as well. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Mellow Golden for $2 says Mario movie takes the win. Gonna sit again in 3D. They haven't advertised the 3D that much, and they really should have done.
I haven't seen anything on the advertisement for 3D.
No,
I didn't even know it was in 3D till Tom talked about it.
Neither did I. But they did get a big win for IMAX viewings. People really wanted to watch it on IMAX
because they're pushing it more for the IMAX. You make more off the IMAX.
21.
No, I didn't see any push for IMAX. Like I've not seen any push for IMAX. I just know that loads of people are going to see it in IMAX.
It set a record. It set a record. 21.6 million. Yeah,
crazy.
I would say it's on all the posters and stuff here, but
it's not here. Honestly, I've not seen. Maybe there is. I've not seen it. Navy Lax 2 for 50. What is that? Is that Norwegian? Is that krona?
Danish krona.
Danish krona. As Chato said, the Marvels movie is made for the Hannah Montana audience. We will get to that. We will get to that. Promise we will get to that. Tom Workin sent a $2 super sticker. Thank you so much. We're almost there, and we will bring Andre in. He's been very patient. Mellow Golden for $5 says, bring on Super Smash Brothers movie. Bring on the Zelda movie. Actually, that's what I want to see. But yeah, no, absolutely. And Dark Winter for £2 says, how did their superpowers become entangled? We'll get to that. I've got to hold off on some of these. We'll get to that.
Yeah,
we will get to that. We're almost there. Tom Working for $5 says Akira is a hard IP to do, especially given the anime origin and its manga lore. Many have tried. Keanu Reeves, if memory serves. So the person who has the rights for it at the moment is, if memory serves, is bizarrely Leonardo DiCaprio. He owns the rights to Akira randomly. Yeah. If memory serves, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty certain he does. And it's the weirdest thing, and he's been the one trying to get it made. But it's a westernized version. The Taika Waititi is a western version. It's not Neo Tokyo, so it was wank from the off anyway. Gary for £5 says, watched Broken Arrow the other day and said, God damn, what a rush. They don't make like this anymore.
No.
Broken Arrow. What's Broken Arrow?
That was the
Travolta.
John Travolta.
Yeah.
I'm a bad guy and I'm gonna ham it up. Never see.
Yeah, with the nukes and Christian Slater.
Yep.
Oh dear.
Yeah, it was a fun movie.
Yeah, it does ring a bell. But no, they don't make films like that anymore.
It's a blast. You know what I'm saying?
And then for Dark Window sent another £2 says, yes, me too. Perfect. So again, if you want to join in, drop in super chats, but we will bring in Andre now. Sorry about that.
Hey.
Good, sir. How you doing? Didn't want to sort of spoil the flow.
Yeah, no, I'm doing good. Thanks for having me, because I've been missing out on the last few episodes here on Thursday when I was supposed to. So I felt so bad about it. I was like, okay, I have the opportunity to hop in right now, so consider it some make good time.
You were somewhere far better. I was getting those pictures, mate. They look great. I'm super jealous. That looked absolutely epic.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. No, because the reason I wasn't here last Thursday, just so the audience know which pictures we're talking about.
Yeah, not weird.
Well, actually, there's a really long story with my car breaking down and everything. But the short story then is that last Thursday, I took my family for a drive to the Norwegian Bear Park, which is a few hours drive away from Oslo.
And I said it was stupid because all he's got to do is step out in his backyard and there's like 10 bears.
Well, I don't know if...
But then he pointed out there's kitties and stuff there. So
if deers and kitties and the occasional fox counts as bears. But to be fair, I have seen moose within a mile of my house. But yeah. But anyway, this then is the Bear Park. And I took the kids there. I really didn't know too much about it. We were invited by some friends of ours, and I was blown away. It was amazing. So I sent some pictures to my Nate saying I probably won't be able to join the show tonight because I'll be driving and on the road home. But just so you know, here's a real excuse. Here's some pictures of the animals I'm seeing right now. And it was amazing because they didn't just have bears. which we do have in Norway, and moose, which we also have in Norway, imported from Russia. This was the most amazing thing. They had like snow leopards, and those cats were amazing. Like seeing like those, it's like so weird to see. You have like the Norwegian nature, and up in those trees up there, you have like some leopards with these giant bushy tails swinging around and hunting for prey, and wolves and lynx and everything, just for shits and giggles. And like they have like this inside section, and there they have a reptile park with crocodiles and alligators and even a freaking anaconda.
Madness.
So it was amazing. Like I can't recommend it enough. Like if you go to Norway, and do yourself a favor, take at least half a day and swing by the bear park. You will not regret it. And between that and the troll park that I've shown you pictures of before, we do have some pretty awesome, like very Norwegian parks here.
Yeah, and it did look.
But anyway, since I missed out on last Thursday, I figured, well, let's try to like make up for it by hopping in a little bit now unscheduled.
No, it's good to have you here.
Yeah, I figured you'd probably forgive me for popping in uninvited.
Oh no, of course, absolutely. I just wanted to 100%. You pop in whenever. It was just I wanted to sort of get the super chats and then shuffle off into this, and then we'll sort of go off into our next topic, which is our next topic is the Marvels trailer. So we're all going to watch it together. All right, I'm subjecting you to it. All right, sorry. We're all going to watch it together just to make sure it's fresh in our minds. Culture's got it here. We're just quiet. We're just going to watch it, and then we're going to talk about it. Let's go.
Captain Rambo? What the hell are you doing?
Entering the jump point perimeter.
I'm gonna get you some readings, Fury. Hello? Hello?
You're probably gonna get a claim for intergalactic.
Is this an Avengers test?
Where's Captain Rambo?
This is the point where I recognize the song.
What the?
Hi.
We're looking for Kamala Khan.
Okay, so our powers are entangled. I can manipulate light energy. And you...
I could totally show you.
No!
I'm not again.
Hi.
Where's our daughter?
Wherever you were.
We're a team.
No, we're not a team.
We're not a team.
All right, pause it.
I just want to say that my head was bobbing every bit as much as Cultured Casinos. You just couldn't see it.
And all I have to say is, look how they massacred my Beastie Boys.
Yes, that's what I thought. I can't believe you're bopping along to that. They absolutely wrecked it. So, I absolutely hate this trailer, and I hate it for many, many reasons. So it's more of the same. It looks like, as someone said it in the chat now, it looks like CW garbage. There are so many inconsistencies that it just doesn't make any sense. I hate the character of Kamala Khan. Winds me up like nobody's business. Honestly, it's like stubbing your toe. You know, she's the embodiment of me stubbing my toe. I fucking hate it. I absolutely hate it. It's overacting. It's cringe. It's the worst elements of all Marvel films put together. It doesn't make any sense. So, few things. Let's have some consistencies here. So, you get transported and apparently you're in your clothes, but then you appear in other people's clothes because Kamala Khan got transported into Monica Rambeau's spacesuit. Well, how did that make sense? Because she was in her own clothes. How did they transfer spacesuits? How did Kamala Khan slow down in space before she hit the space station? That doesn't make any sense. How does Kamala Khan, an expert super fan on Brie Larson's Captain Marvel, not know what the cat is? Why is she so freaked out? And that's just to get started. Why have we now got Ronan the Accuser, but a female version, complete with hammer?
I got a better question. Why is the Marvels?
Well, yeah, the whole thing is just utter. Also, they've now showed us that Secret Invasion is not worth watching, because Secret Invasion is set before the Marvels. Why? Also, if they're so confident in this film, why have they started the marketing now? It doesn't release until November.
I know why. Because they're dropping the trailer before it'll be attached to the Guardians of the Galaxy. And the Guardians of the Galaxy is the movie immediately preceding the Marvels. And Marvel, as a rule, they always have a trailer for their next movie attached to the current movie, even if it's in November. Which is why we now get a teaser trailer. We get like a longer trailer, but this
because the premiere should be this next week, right?
A 2-minute teaser trailer.
Exactly. But I can also promise you this is as good as it's going to get where trailers are concerned. And
Of course it is.
I just want to say, this is manipulative as hell. And how many months do you think they spent finding that song, mixing it, knowing that people are going to love this song so much that many are going to be too distracted by what otherwise is going to be really mundane imagery and story here. It's with just like one gaming feature, them switching places. That's really all there's going for it. And then you have the member berries with the music, which they learned from James Gunn to distract you.
The Beastie Boys should fire whoever's in charge of the licensing.
But it's also it's also just so sterile. It's all shot on sound stages again. They're not in an actual set piece, and I honestly cannot stand. It's the acting. I hate the acting. And look, Brie Larson's Captain Marvel doesn't really say or do anything in this. She's fine. Like, I'm not ragging on her. I'm not ragging on Monica Rambeau actress either. She's fine. It's that Kamala Khan character. The characterization is the most it is the embodiment of stubbing your toe. It really, truly is. It's so. It just makes you so angry. Well, makes me so angry anyway. I cannot stand it. Like, what, you just whinging through space? What are you doing? Why are you whinging that you've just seen a cat? You would know about the cat. You'd know about the Flurkin. You would. You're a Captain Marvel super fan, mega fan. You'd know about the Flurkin. Anyway. Culture, what did you think?
You don't
of the
know
trailer?
what you're Flurkin talking about.
I was excited because we're going to get a whole like army of Flurkin. Apparently, like somebody tipped over a box of Flurkin. Yeah, going to be good times. Look, I mean, you like grab the tip of the iceberg, and yes, the over-orchestrated intergalactic song is kind of disappointing. I was mocking it by bopping along with it, but I mean, they're doing exactly the same types of marketing that they were doing that has failed before. This is marketed very similarly or in the same vein or with the same tone as the last Thor film. Tuck and Blunder, or Cuck and Blunder, or whatever it is. I think it's more like Tuck and Blunder. But anyway, but it's one of those situations where I have zero interest in this film. They've actually decreased my level of interest in this film. I wasn't interested in to begin with, but now I'm like actively just going to mock it because it's just there isn't anything viable here. Monica Rambeau didn't do enough or say enough in this that I would be able to form any kind of an opinion. As you said, Brie Larson didn't do anything here, other than like show off that, she's trying to keep her arms toned. And
she's in great shape, man.
Yeah. I'm looking at it. You want me to go to that part?
No, I just said what I did say. I said she's in great shape.
Okay.
You commented on her arms. I said she's in great shape.
I said, yeah, she's keeping her arms very toned. But I'm looking at it and I'm going, all right. This is a girl power film to be a girl power film. There's no other reason for this to exist.
Let's be honest, her arms were never the problem. But yeah.
Well, it's minimizing the demographic as well. Like, with you're catering. This is the problem, right? So you're spending what $250 million on this movie, easy, right? And people go, yeah, well, it's not for you. Yeah, okay. I still have the right to comment on it, and that is a dumbass business move. Because look how Ant-Man and the Wasp did. That didn't do very well, and that's marketed for everyone. Well, supposedly. This is now narrowing down your target market to just girls. Not smart.
Tom, is it just me, or does this look like a Disney Plus show?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely, it does.
I don't know. I mean, again, overall, I mean, there's 100 different reasons to say this.
My big thing is now that Victoria Alonso's gone, are they going to try and save face with this, or are they going to blame it on her when it fails?
On who? Sorry.
Oh, Victoria Alonso.
Oh, yeah, true. Yeah,
because maybe. This is clearly this is like the epitome of everything that she has been championing for Marvel. And we know this is going to fall flat on its face. Now, we could sit here and debate and go back and forth on the plausibilities of how they basically fortified the original Captain Marvel film through the same means they did with Black Panther, and they tried to again with Wakanda Forever. But look how that worked out with Wakanda Forever. This is going to tank harder than that. Because at least with Wakanda Forever, there was still some sort of semblance of, people were interested. Who is interested in this? Like anybody really interested in this?
Well, there's a lot of bots. So can you scroll down on those comments, Culture? Because there are a ton of bots on the trailer.
Because let's remind everybody, as you said about the Disney Plus series, this is a sequel to a Disney Plus series along with Captain Marvel. Let's not forget that. The Disney Plus series that nobody watched. The least watched of all of them, mind you. So that is not going to translate well into this.
But there is interest, because I've got Marvel simps flooded to my my trailer discussion reaction video.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Yeah, I know, and they always go, "Oh, you don't like it because they're women." I'm like, I didn't comment on the fact that they're women. I commented on the crap bloody acting. It had nothing to do with what's between their legs, you idiots. I'd say the same if that was a man given that such a terrible, cringe-inducing performance.
Yeah.
Goodness me.
On the reaction front, I mean, it's not like doing great here, 280 to 160.
No, but it's still better.
It's still better, yeah. 30,000 comments. And of course, they want us to look at the comments that they had loaded in here from all their buddies that are saying something nice. So we're going to go to the newest comments first. So, wow, this is an interesting one right at the top here.
Well, I can't read that, mate.
Okay, let me see if I can zoom it in a little bit.
Did they actually?
We've got.
Did they actually give
Carol some boobs?
Yeah.
Brie Larson does have a chest.
Yeah. You've got looks like an expensive Disney Channel movie. Okay.
Unironically looks dog shit.
Yeah. Oof.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Looks
VFX.
like...
Welcome to GTA 5, y'all.
Yeah. This is yeah.
Oh God.
Do people enjoy this crap? Look at this. Look at the.
Well, they even had space Bollywood in there. Did you see that? Alien Bollywood dances.
Okay, so is that her poking fun at us, poking fun at her for being in that Bollywood movie? Botswana.
Well, Brie Larson wouldn't have anything to say about that. Like, it's not on her. This is all Marvel. They're trying to get the Pakistani Muslim community on board, basically, and that's what it is. Because that was the whole point of Kamala Khan in general.
Yeah.
So
it's just nuts. But these comments they're embarrassing. Yeah, I mean, it's just
Kamala Khan is completely obnoxious. Couldn't make it past the first episode of a series, and neither could I.
Yeah. let's see.
MCU bots are going crazy. People noticing the bots.
Yeah. More woke trash. This is not a movie for boys, I guess. No. Let's see. Marvel, you're adding Sabra to the new Captain America movie. What? I don't know what that is.
I have no idea.
Looks epic. I don't know how you would get that take from that person, but I just hope this movie is better than the last few Steakers. I haven't truly enjoyed a Marvel movie since Spider-Man No Way Home. So yeah.
And someone's like, "Holy, the comments have to be paid. Check out the dislikes. This looks terrible." Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not. I don't know. I mean,
looks amazing.
It does.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
I mean, look. So, what do we think, ladies and gents? Andre, what do you think of the trailer? The thoughts? Is it going to be a bomb? How do you think?
I think
more
it's going
manipulation.
It's manipulation. That's like the first thing I said about here. Like, this is really manipulation, because what they're trying to do is like they're trying to get like your heartbeat pounding to the music. Like, this is one of the most manipulative use of music I've seen. They really try to go for the member berries here, for those that are old enough to remember the song, and the catchy beat which they added for everyone who isn't. The whole point is that they're trying to create like a happy emotional experience to get you excited by way of the music, and just a fun gaming feature in there to distract you from the fact that what you're watching right now is something Disney Plus level that doesn't really have an audience, that requires you to have done your homework. In order to understand this movie, you need to have seen the first Captain Marvel, but as if that wasn't enough, you will also need to have seen WandaVision. You will probably need to have seen Secret Invasion, and you will definitely need to have seen Ms. Marvel. It's trying to distract you from all of that. If you haven't seen those, you're going to be pretty lost in this movie, I should imagine. Well, lost. I mean, this is not going to be anything complex, but still, they kind of assume that you will know who these characters are, and that's a big assumption.
It is.
Yeah. I predict a bomb or manipulating some form of ticket sales.
I think you're going to get a lot of people I think a lot of people expect that, Nate. I think a lot of people expect to manipulate it very much like the original Captain Marvel film.
Yeah. Tom, you have anything to sort of drop in there, bud?
No, I think we've all pretty much said what we have to say on this. It's going to be till November till we get to see this fall flat on its face. So,
well, that's the other thing. I mean, I understand your point, Andre, about the marketing now, but they have been condensing down that window. So it does seem surprising that they're giving it such a big window for marketing now.
No, I don't think so.
Condensed it down.
I don't think so, because remember, the movie was originally going to come out this summer, then they pushed it back because it's disastrous, and they need to reshoot probably the whole thing several times over by the time all is said and done, because that is the Marvel way by now. Create something utter shit and then redo it all like before. It used to be that they
fix it in post.
Yeah, but now it's more like fixing. Now it's more like redoing in post. It's like the modern Marvel way of doing things.
Oh, it's just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Oh dear. So we do have some great super chats dropping in here. So if you want to support the show, you want to drop in your thoughts as well, as you have been doing, super chats are a good way to do that. And you can ask just other things as well. You don't have to comment on the topics that we're talking about. Adam B drops in with, I don't know what this is. It's something, 2000 something.
Hungarian francs, perhaps?
Hungarian forint or something like that.
Florence.
Yes. There we go. Says, hello, great panel. Just wanted to share with you that I saw Jack Black twice in 3 days last week. First, he destroyed The Mandalorian with Lizzo. Then he made my day with his song in Mario. Ironic. Yeah, that is Jack Black's ability to not only destroy, but also raise you up. But no, you're right. But that sort of takes us off into some of our next topics, which we will cover soon, which is all about the Star Wars thing and just some of the comments that they It's just fucking Lizzo. Fucking, why did they get Lizzo in there? Outrageous. Dark Winter for £2 says Young Avengers kittens. Yeah, I think that will be quite fun to see, but it's just a gimmick. That's all it's going to be. They're just a flirking gimmick.
Hey, that's the most flirking interesting thing so far.
And that's what they said leading up to the release of the Captain Marvel movie.
Yeah, it was about his eye.
Yeah, and then it turned out that the cat was the most overrated and stupid thing about it.
Yeah,
I mean, I have never seen worse usage of a cat ever than in that movie.
Yeah, I do remember that because they really pushed that it'd be your Nick Fury. You figure out a bit more about Nick and his eye, and you're like, right, okay, so that was not worth it.
No.
It wasn't worth it.
Doesn't look like the cats are going to be much better in the new one.
No. Tom working for $5 says fast take instead of the trio. They should have led with the big bad in the trailer. I mean, I understand because loads of people are going to go, well, it's a teaser trailer, so they're only teasing you. Yes, but it's 2 minutes, fucking 2 minutes long, man. Yeah. Like they should have given you something. Like not obnoxious bloody Kamala Khan running around. They should have given you a lot more than just that. That's not. Yeah,
but they get to spend a day in somebody else's shoes. Don't you get it, Nate? It's totally
that's it.
Sorry, like girl, we get to be somebody else for a day.
Well,
my god!
It's a Freaky Friday type thing.
They get to transition into somebody else.
Exactly. And then they're so diverse.
Dear, oh dear. Right. So we got
all I was thinking with a special power like that. Like they better have like an SMS stuff like that, like saying, "Okay, I need to take a dump." No one used their powers.
Oh God! Can you imagine that? So we got Haunted here sent a $1.99 super sticker, which was a thumbs up. So thank you so much, my dude. And we've got Olaf Van Ness, moderator of the channel. So thank you so much for €6. Says Jay looked at trailer response to the trailer. All the comments, very similar responses. Quite suspicious, isn't it? Like positive comment bombs. Yeah, I mean, it is. There's a certain level of consistency across the comments, the grammar and stuff. I mean, it looks pretty obvious that they're bots, right? It doesn't.
Yeah, the first 10K comments in there were overwhelmingly positive. Were definitely staged to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, I undeniably that. Yeah,
they're not going to be able to do that with the box office numbers.
Yeah, true. Tom working for $5 says, super side note, the Marvel DC Comics universe was all over the place in quality, intention, timelessness, intrinsic. The original model was feckless. Yeah. I mean, but then also they kept ramping up to events too much and too soon because they kept having to sort of restart and reboot their own universes, which became one of their own downfalls as well. We've got a massive super chat here, so thank you so much. Dragon Reborn, Darren, for £50. So Christ alive, thank you so much. It says Disney are going to boost the ticket sales by purchasing cinemas or cinema seats, and will put a protective bubble to stop any feedback. Well, they will do that via Rotten Tomatoes, like they did before, because it was Captain Marvel which led to them changing that whole thing initially. So make no mistake, you're completely right there, Darren. That's literally what they did. It was Captain Marvel was the reason why they changed Rotten Tomatoes. Everyone seems to forget that. It's like sort of drifted from people's minds. Mm-hmm. So I would imagine they'll scrabble to do something very, very similar here.
Well, in the pictures of empty theaters or nearly empty theaters that's to supposedly sold out shows and everything, that's very telling.
Yeah. For those who may not know what we're actually kind of talking about, there is a little bit of a truth to this, because what they do is they use these organizations to buy up tickets and shows, and they'll give them out for free tickets, but that doesn't necessarily mean these people show up.
Yes.
Right? They did the same thing with Black Panther, and we were insinuating, and a lot of people were noticing similarities with Captain Marvel, and we did learn that there was some, women's groups or something like that?
Yep.
Culture that had similar things. So, I'm not saying it's above the realm of possibility, and this time they can use some of the other groups that they used before too. I just pointed out in the background too. So,
yeah, I think you're right, and I also think this. I think that very similar to the way you get golden opens for films that feature Asian actors, like Shang-Chi and the bracelets of whatever. Those that was boosted by an artificial source through the golden opens, which buys tickets and gives them away to underserved communities. So like I said, I mean, there's a lot of ways they can go about doing this and use third parties to go about artificially supporting this, even though it's not organic. And at the end of the day, if it's coming out of Disney's pocket, it just comes out of their marketing and promotion budget. So
gotta spend money to lose money.
And they're doing a great job of that lately. Holy cow.
I mean, literally, they're buying tickets and they'll only get a portion of that back.
Actually, it's not even Disney that's buying them, though. That's the beauty of it, Nick. They're using charity money to do this. See, that's the key to this.
Okay.
So you have like inner city groups and stuff and such that bought tickets for kids to go see Black Panther, for instance. They had similar things with Captain Marvel, where there was like women's groups that were buying tickets so people could go see Captain Marvel. But that's where people were getting all these these are supposedly sold out screenings, but nobody's in them.
So basically, it's a legalized money laundering for them.
Yes,
you could call it that. Yeah,
I mean, but you have the same thing with the New York Times bestseller list for books.
That's true.
There ain't no rule that says that it has to be like actual people buying it. If you have, for instance, you have the same thing with like every single time that the guy that founded Scientology, L. Ron Hubbard.
Yes.
He has a few books. The most famous of them is
Dianetics.
Okay, fine. The second most famous of them is Battlefield Earth or something like that. Yeah. Every time there's a new release of that, like it comes out #1 and New York Times bestseller and what have you. Well, the reason for that is because the Church of Scientology, through a number of like sub-organizations, they buy a shit ton of them. They also have every single member of the Scientology, all 5,000 or whatever is left, buy like 10 copies each and everything. So that helps. But really, it's the fact that they have like all these other organizations that buys them, and it's not that expensive either, because like the profit of the book sales goes back to the company anyway, so they consider it part of like the marketing budget, and then they get the bragging points of having that #1 position and so many sales and what have you. I mean, this happens all the time in book publishing. I mean, if a publisher really wants to be able to call themselves New York Times bestseller, it's simply a matter of spending the marketing money to do it. And by marketing money, I mean just divert enough funds to pick up enough titles.
And also you have to know somebody too, as we've learned, because I think it was Blatty, the writer of The Exorcist, ended up having to sue them because his sequel to The Exorcist didn't get on the top 10 bestseller list, even though it was a huge seller. But anyway, sorry, Nate, you were going to say something. My bad.
No, so I just need to finish up the super chat, basically.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So Disney and Marvel and Lucasfilm is burning, and as sad as it is to say, I can't wait for them to completely burn to the ground. And there has actually been some updates on the Ron DeSantis and Reedy Creek sort of board situation. So they're definitely ramping it up, and we'll see what happens, but it's not looking great for Disney at this point in time. Dark, again, thank you so much. That super chat's absolutely incredible. Goes such a long way. Thank you so much. Can't stress it enough. Dark Winter for £2 says, not lost. We'll just ignore it. Fair. Israel R for £10 says, it's almost too silly to take seriously. Just cringe.
Yeah.
It is cringe inducing. I mean, it's that overacting, that force, that hamminess. And this is what I mean. Like, people go, well, it's not for you. Yeah, I know. But that's still not good business practice either. If they're dwindling their target market down to basically no one, what's the point?
Yeah. Again, so if it's not for me, and it's not for Nate, and it's not for Tom, it's not for Andre or Nick or anybody that I know, it's not for us. Who's it for? Because that's one of those questions that doesn't get. That's the first question you should ask. Who is this movie for?
It's definitely not budgeted for a selective audience. That's for sure.
Exactly. Well, this is the thing. Exactly. Right. So we can come in and happily comment on it because it's just I don't know. It's just a bit of a shit show, really, isn't it? Gary for £10 says, I remember a girl on YouTube going mad saying, "Why are you so upset with the twerking? It's not that bad. I thought you want She-Hulk to be sexy like the comics." I said that thing twerking is not sexy. Twerking is not remotely sexy in any way, shape, or form. I don't understand what the appeal is. Twerking is fucking gross. Happy to say that.
Real quick, Nate, Coach sent me this picture I just shared on screen.
Oh, what's this?
It's pretty funny.
Oh, that's fine. That'll lead in. I sent that story to Nate about that just a second ago.
Everything is under control. Situation normal. How are you?
Whoopsie.
Oh dear. We'll just blast through some of these super chats because that is our next topic of conversation, basically. Tom working for $5 says DC Marvel traded one stupid Chapter 12 master for another. Still stupid, but with more money and market share. Oh dear. Jericho Leon for $2 says, I think it'll do fine. Is that the pregnant man thing? It is, isn't it? That's a brilliant little emoji. It'll do fine. Goodness me. And I think that's us actually caught up, if I'm right.
Did you get the member chat? Did you get the member chat from Felicity?
Yes. So Felicity Poobell has been a member, supporter level 2 for nearly 2 years, 22 months. Thank you so much. And with memberships, guys, if you join the channel, you become a member, you get a free super chat, but also you help out the channel. You can also just become a Patreon. Patreon's actually slightly better for me. So same money, but I take a bigger share of that. So if you want to actually help me and you don't mind doing it via Patreon, then Patreon's the way to go. But Felicity Poobell says they'd be better off putting the Marvels on Disney Plus, but they obviously have too much of a financial investment not to put it in theaters. They have no interest and won't pay a dime to see it. You are completely right. Where's the standard? Because it doesn't look like a theater movie, does it? But what standard are we working with here when that's the thing that they're about to release in theaters? It's woeful. It's absolutely abysmal. Goodness me. But the sign of things to come for Disney in general. And I'm so glad you're here joining us for this, Nick.
Oh.
So, Star Wars Celebration happened, didn't it, buddy?
Oh man, what a weekend. 28 hours of streaming.
Goodness. And what we got to show for it was Rey's coming back. Let's talk about that first. Rey is coming back 15 years after the Rise of Skywalker.
Yep, to rebuild the Jedi Order, the job that was given to Luke that he failed at, according to Disney, and now they're giving that task to Rey, and she's going to knock it out of the park, and it's going to be great and successful.
So, I couldn't believe it when I saw that news. I genuinely could not believe it.
I actually wasn't surprised because about, 3 weeks to a month ago, before Celebration dropped, we did a video with Valiant and WDW Pro where he had gotten word that I know the source where it came from. Of course, I can't say it here, but he got word that Disney was going to be pushing another Rey movie that was going to include Grogu, R2-D2, Chewbacca, and a Mandalorian character that wasn't specified. And when we were doing that video, I was like, no way they're that dumb to bring her back. Well, apparently they're wanting to do the Rey thing because that's their creation. They're wanting to push it. They're wanting to push Batu, which is going to be in the movie. They're wanting to push the Halcyon, the hotel that they got, because they've put money into it. So that's the reason they decided to do that. But they know that she wasn't well received, so they're teaming her up with other characters that, according to their statistics, fans are big fans of. That's why Chewbacca, R2, and Grogu are going to also be with Rey. Of course, that wasn't announced at Celebration, but it's coming. And they're basically doubling down. They're going to double/triple down on this crap. And at this point in time, all you can do is laugh. I'm just waiting to see the whole thing burn to the ground, and then maybe it'll rise from the ashes under new leadership or another company.
I mean, it's staggering. And we had a little bit more information come out. So this is an interview with IGN. And Kathleen Kennedy is asked about it. She says, well, we're 15 years out from the rise of Skywalker. So we're post-war, post-First Order, and the Jedi are in disarray. What fucking Jedi?
Yeah.
There's a lot of discussion around who are the Jedi? What are they doing? What's the state of the galaxy? She's attempting to rebuild the Jedi Order based on the books, based on what she promised Luke. What did she promise Luke? So that's where we're going. And then she's asked about, well, will we see Skywalker? She's like, oh, I don't know if we'll spend a lot of time in flashbacks or on Force Ghosts or things like that. But certainly the spirit of what he represents to her is going to be significant.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
right.
Right.
Well, a few things to go in there. The whole thing of like, so there's discussion about who are the Jedi and what are they doing. Wasn't that A New Hope? People were like, I don't really know who the Jedi are anymore. Who are the Jedi? Is it Jedi? What's a Jedi? Wasn't that the same thing as A New Hope? Are they just going to do A New Hope again?
And did they say the Jedi must end in their own films?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I made a bold prediction yesterday, and I bet it's going to become true.
Go on then. What?
Basically, the whole 15 years after the fact, there's a reason. Why would you jump 15 years instead of 5, which is the natural where we're at right now? That way, she can have a 15-year-old divorced daughter with Kylo Ben and bring back the Skywalker bloodline.
Well, Nick,
because I don't think they realized until after the fact that the Palpatines wiped out the Skywalkers.
Yep.
Yeah, and she's not a Skywalker.
Well, wasn't there some like photoshopped image floating around of
Yes.
Rey?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Fuck the
fake as
pregnant
fuck.
shit. She's already going to have had the kid. We're going to find out that she had the kid shortly after Rise of Skywalker and find out that it was a Force ghost kid when she was brought back to life by Ben. That is when the inception happened. And this
like
is going to be
Anakin.
Luna Skywalker, and she's going to have a similar fucking adventure. I shit you not.
Yeah, I believe it. I
To
believe
Luke
it.
Skywalker so they can restart this whole thing over again because Rey is a non-start. That's why.
Yeah.
With new Star Wars, with new characters, you know.
Yeah. So just as an FYI, guys, the image you've seen that other people have done videos on is completely fake.
Yeah, 100%.
That's
They
why
don't
I'm
even have a script yet.
That's why I've not done
definitely
a video
not
on it, because I didn't think I had to. I thought everyone would know it's fake.
Yeah, I saw Anna's video on it. I was like, "Come on, Anna, you know that's 100% fake." Yellow Flash did a video. We did a video on it, but we did a funny video on it, and it was basically like, "Come on, guys, if you guys think this is real, you know,
I know.
go outside and take a deep breath."
I know. I appreciate the grind and all, but fucking hell, come on.
We're gonna get A New Hope for the third time.
It is going to be A New Hope, isn't it? It's literally going to be A New Hope again.
We had the original, which you can't improve upon, New Hope. Then you had the Schwartz Awakens, which was A New Hope again. And now you're going to have episode 10, which is A New Hope again.
With teenage Grogu.
Because remember, she buried the lightsabers. So her daughter's going to find out, now that she's 15, and has all these weird powers that her mother has never explained to her, that she is now the chosen one.
Well, would she though? Because if
and her and Grogu and R2 will go on an adventure together.
She's trying to rebuild the Jedi Order, but
So she would say if she got a daughter or kid or whatever, she'd see.
Maybe after the fact, though. That's what I'm saying. So for like 15 years, she's been on this planet raising this kid,
that's true.
And a new evil rises.
Yeah, that's true. Who's gonna be the new evil?
Palpatine. He's gonna return again.
Palpatine. He never
Maggot Boy's back.
Grandpappy Palpy. He'll be back.
I'm your great grandfather. Fucking God.
I am back again.
Oh my God, Andre, you haven't said anything. You've been
no, but I agree. I
unusually
mean,
quiet.
I believe these gentlemen have nailed it completely. I agree completely with the Tom's theory. I will just take credit for one part of it. Tom initially thought it was going to be Ray's son, and when I pointed out that, Tom, be real here. I mean, this is Kathleen Kennedy here.
It'll be her daughter.
This is obviously going to be a daughter. I mean, just
well,
don't
yeah,
imagine.
after the transition.
Yeah,
because Dylan Mulvaney is going to play the part. We already know that.
Oh goodness me! Let's not get this demonetized now, right? Thank you.
But no, the only thing that I have to add to it, and I just want to go back to what a source told us several years ago, and that was that one of Kathleen Kennedy's goals was to completely steal George Lucas' thunder, make it so that try to rewrite history into Star Wars was always her thing, and then he came in and he took it. She was always there in the background or something, and now finally we're gonna get Star Wars the way it was always meant to be, the female-centric Star Wars. And in order to completely supplant his Star Wars, she was going to create a new Star Wars that was going to be set after this one, and there's going to be so much more of it that everyone was going to forget the original Star Wars. When that didn't work, she's going to reframe all of the original Star Wars, and that's kind of what we're seeing right now. The 3 movies that were announced, one is in the past, one is in the present, if we consider the Mandalorian era the present, and one is in the future. And probably all of these 3 movies are going to be somewhat linked together. And they're basically going to make it so that the Force was female the entire time, and it was always about Rey.
Yeah.
And with that, the Star Wars takeover is going to be complete, and it will be the original trilogy that has been reframed, because that old movie in the past, you just wait and see that they're going to come up with something that's going to set up right there that, okay, first there's going to be some distractions, going to be some Skywalker dudes, but they don't really matter. Rey is what it's all about. There's going to be something, some kind of future callback that's going to be followed up in The Mandalorian and then in the post-sequel trilogy movie.
Just wait till tomorrow's episode of Mando. I already know everything that happens in it.
Yeah, it's going to be even worse, right?
Yeah.
Well, that takes us off to the next thing I wanted to speak about. So, Nick, what's this deal with? They admitted that Bo-Katan is now the Mandalorian, because I didn't see this and I couldn't find it. Can you give us the rundown on that?
I don't know if I heard anything about. I remember hearing them talk about how. So if you go back, there was a picture floating around of the Lucas film story group's whiteboard.
I think it was one of the writers, and they had said that the Mandalorian doesn't just mean Din Djarin or something like that.
Yeah. Which, if you watch the show from the very beginning, that's 100% what it means, or at least that's what they implied.
Mandalorian. Mando, the Mandalorian, get the Mandalorian, Mando.
Yeah, so what they should have done is, before I get to that, the picture I was talking about that was going around with the Lucas Films story group's whiteboard, one of the things on there was no main character. So they don't want to have...
So they're going to drift in and out with different
characters. They don't want to have any main character. They want several people to kind of, be at the forefront of the shows and not really only focus on one person all the time. So that's why I think we're seeing a lot of this. It feels like it's now the Bo-Katan show. But I mean, I said over the weekend, they should have just ended Mando with that ending of season 2. It felt like a series finale more than a season finale. And then they should have just renamed this season, the Mandalorians or Mandalore or Bo-Katan, because they're so creative with their show titles over there. I'm sure they would have came up with something along those lines. But yeah, it definitely seems like they're trying to now say, it's not just the Mandalorian's not just Din Djarin. It's Grogu, it's Bo-Katan, and we're gonna focus on all these different characters. Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, so narratively speaking, it doesn't actually make sense that Din Djarin would come around and lead Mandalore. Like, I don't like that for his character. I don't feel like that's true to what they've sort of established as the character. Yeah. I think they've sort of established him as this father figure. So I think it makes sense that I thought they were going to do something far smarter with it, though. Like with Bo-Katan and Din Djarin, I thought they were going to have Bo-Katan go get the Mythosaur and sort of basically stake her claim to Mandalore by having the Mythosaur and then having to fight Din Djarin because they have to, obviously, she has to then also get the Darksaber, but he just gave it to her. So I was a bit like...
Yeah, so anticlimactic.
I was like, that's really crap. And I'm thinking to myself, you've lost a lot of what you could have done there, which would have been interesting. Din Djarin reluctant, having to fight someone that he's built a sort of a relationship with over this period of time, and then they just go, yeah, here have it then. No worries. You're Mandalorian now, and I get it, because for Din Djarin it doesn't make sense for him to lead Mandalore. It just doesn't. He isn't a leader. He isn't that character. They've never.
Not only that, they established that she had to fight him for it or whatever, and best him in battle or whatever it was.
Well, this is what I mean. Yeah, the last episode they did this weird mental gymnastics thing of, well, actually he got beaten, and she then beat the person that he beat, that beat him. So it's actually hers now. So
that's not how the Force works.
Yeah, and also Bo-Katan, by the way, you can also take your helmet off too.
Yeah. That was really dumb. Yeah, that was really dumb.
You know what that tells me? When they start doing stuff like that, Jon Favreau is out proceedings, and they're going a completely different direction than what he set out.
Yeah, it does feel that way. It feels very disjointed now.
I got pushback on me saying that really the collapse of all these Star Wars shows and the future of Star Wars, it hinged completely on a secondary character named Cara Dune and her absence from all the future projects that were currently under the plan for Favreau. And I think that it screwed things up so badly that we ended up with such a long delay with a very undercooked Book of Boba Fett and every subsequent show being less than redeemable.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you could write yourself well. You could write yourself well out of that. I mean, there's two trains of thought there, right? Like, that's a stretch if you're dealing with competent writers, but obviously it's Lucasfilm, so they don't have competent writers. No. So, like, I'm reluctant to agree with you, but then I also am reminded that we're dealing with Lucasfilm, so you are actually probably right. Does that make sense? Yeah. I don't want to just full steam go, I'm on board with that, because I'm like, well, no, because a competent writer would be like, nah, just fuck this bitch, it's fine. Like, be fine. Like,
I am on board with that.
No, that's what I mean. Because they have such incompetent writers, I'm almost forced to agree a little bit.
Elementary level. I mean, 8 episodes long season. And you could have given us a really good story arc with the Darksaber and that whole aspect of how she winds up with it. Instead, you give us CSI Mando, on trying to solve a crime, and you get Lizzo and Jack Black and all this other stupid little fluff that they throw in there. It just feels like they're wasting so much time. Like the writers just don't know what to do with it.
Because they don't. Yeah. I think they lost their leadership, to be honest with you.
Well, yeah, I mean, you have the liar leader in Kathleen Kennedy, who's constantly and chronically exposed as the liar that she is, resulting in how many, Tom, you have the list. How many freaking people never finish working on a Star Wars thing? I mean, it's a huge list. 14. I mean, it's like
I think at least 14 or 15 projects. I mean, some of which have finally come to fruition, but not all. But basically, 2 have not gone without a hitch, and the rest have been canceled. and it's in the teens now. Yes. And in fact, I think Andre's been working on a video about this very subject because
I'm still working on it as we speak.
It was kind of spawned on by her lies, but yeah.
Can I just elaborate on why I think that the firing of Gina Carano ruined everything?
I think you're right, but yes.
Yeah. The reason for that, ever since she was fired, I have always described her as a load-bearing pillar. She was handpicked by Jon Favreau. She didn't go to an audition or anything like that. There was never an open casting call for Cara Dune. Jon Favreau handpicked her for that particular role. Because what he was doing something similar to what he had already done in the MCU. He was one of the architects that started the entire Marvel universe. He didn't just do Iron Man, that's what he directed. But he was one of the architects for the entire thing. He was one of those that sat in the room with Ike Perlmutter and with Kevin Feige and with the rest of the story group of comic book writers that they had at the time, and they charted out that, okay, this is all of phase one. We're going to build up towards Thanos, and in order to do that, we're going to have this movie, we're going to have that movie, we're going to have that movie, we're going to introduce all of this here, and all of this is a structure that's going to build up to this. And he was doing the exact same thing with the Mandalorian. Now, one of the pillars in that thing was Cara Dune. Well, now we don't know it. Kind of like the same thing. Imagine if we now are at the early ages of the MCU, we have gotten Iron Man, we have gotten the Incredible Hulk, we've gotten Thor. We're supposed to get Captain America. He's been set up and everything, but oh no, now some asshole just fired Chris Evans. We no longer have Captain America. Now what the hell do you do? Because this was such an important part of the Avengers going forward. Do you recast Chris Evans after you've already set him up? Or do you write him out? Then you're going to have to change the Avengers pretty freaking badly. What then happens with everything that comes after that? Now what happens with the Thanos story? Now when you no longer have the Captain America character that was absolutely central in the theme dynamics, now maybe you have to change everything around. And then on top of that, you have the little cunt Dave Filoni, who's never been there for the fans. He's always been Kathleen Kennedy's little spy, as Tom has pointed out on the multiple occasions. He was the
and
first
all about himself.
Yeah, exactly. Now suddenly, the Cara Dune, the fighting of her, has destroyed all the plans. That's what happened right here.
Yeah, I can believe it.
Oh, and well, the other thing is we learned, it kind of come to a head with this whole thing at Celebration this weekend, right? We had how many spin-offs that were supposed to be set up from Mandalorian? There was a whole board of them, remember? And of all those spin-offs, the only one we're getting now is Ahsoka, and this is why I think Andre is right, because Filoni and Carano's exit, Filoni got a promotion around the same time that Carano was kicked. Right? And ever since then, it seemed like things went off the freaking rails. It's like, why would you have Grogu take off with Luke only to waste a couple episodes of Boba Fett to have him come back? That makes no sense. It's like something happened there, right? Something happened that sent this thing completely off the rails. The setup was clear and obvious that they got the baby out of the way so you could have Bo-Katan and Mando face off in season 3 over the Darksaber, and like you said, it was going to be a reluctant fight on his part, but and she was just going to be relentless. I could see that how it was going to go. And then the first episode I watched, it's like, who is this character? She is a completely different person now. All this other crap is like, it hasn't mattered. It doesn't matter. It's like you had a perfect setup for a good season here, and you went off this other direction. Mando needs a bath. What the hell is all this crap? Like what is going on here? And then we're learning more and more. And then we see this first event, and Favreau's not there. He's at the second event, but there was a telling moment in that second event. Filoni's getting all fucking excuse my French, I'm sorry. Filoni's getting all like weepy eyed. I'm not kidding you. And Favreau doesn't budge. His face doesn't change. He doesn't clap along with the audience. He does not move. So he shows no emotion whatsoever when Filoni's gushing about being a part of Star Wars and all this crap.
Mm.
And then we learn that The Mandalorian is ending with a movie.
Well, that's what I was about to say. Is that
so all this stuff is coming to an end? I have a feeling he's out the door as soon as that movie's done.
But it's also who's directing the movie, which is Filoni.
Exactly.
Yeah, they didn't announce that he had any involvement or is going to have any involvement in it at all.
Mm.
And then there's this interview that I sent Andre that I think may be part of this upcoming video where she's talking about all this stuff where we caught her in those lies that Culture was referring to. She don't mention Favreau but once or twice in the whole thing. But it's Dave this, Dave that, Dave. We lost count how many times she brought up Dave. We were getting a joke about it last night, and we were like, we could start a drinking game, but we'd kill our audience last night. I was like,
well,
yeah, literally, Favreau. Rumor has it Favreau is on his way out, and after this weekend, I mean, I kind of believe it, or I can at least believe the possibility.
Yeah, I can believe that. I can believe that indeed.
Disney's trapped by now two too big to fail IPs that are now essentially decaying and moribund. You're going to have death of both of these entities that were so popular that they shouldn't ever have the opportunity to fail. They should just be a money printing machine, and that's where we're at. Yeah. I mean, and again, I mean, I don't know what else to add. I think Nick nailed it. Tom was eloquent, and Andre is 100% right.
I don't know about eloquent. Yeah. Thank you.
The other side, real quick, they keep pointing to this. I've seen it out there. They keep pointing to this article with this interview with Favreau talking about, are you getting influence from the outside? And all that. He's like, no, I have 100% control. Nobody's influenced me to do anything.
Well,
I get to do what I want. And it's like, what do you expect him to say?
Yeah.
Like, do you think he's going to come out and be like, man, there's meddling. Kathy's all up in my business. They're making me make changes. This sucks. You think he's going to say that publicly? No, come on.
There was another interview where he was talking about the changes that had to be made. I don't think they went into it specifically, but he was like, oh, yeah, I found it a challenge. It was an interesting challenge and very diplomatic. That. Yeah, Culture knows what I'm talking about. Yeah.
I think that might have been a Hollywood Reporter interview. I have to go look for that. Yeah.
Well, it actually takes us off to some super chats that we had. So Dark Winter for £2 says, is Favreau still involved with Disney with this? Which, I would say probably not. Based on what we're all saying, it's not looking particularly great.
If I may add to that, he's still going to be involved with Disney. He just might be out of Lucasfilm. But he is one of the reliable directors in the Disney stable. Disney will not want to lose him over any kind of Lucasfilm squabble. He's too important for them.
That is true. And Gary for £5 says, I get excited with the idea of seeing far back in the past before the prequels, but then I remember it's Disney and it puts a big downer on it. I think that's most people. Like, there's interesting concepts that could be explored, and then you go, but the people that are going to execute it, not that great. Yeah. So let's keep those hopes down.
There's some people who are actually asking who Dave is. Dave is Dave Filoni. And Dave Filoni would basically be the worm tongue of Kathleen Kennedy at this point. She used to be George Lucas's acolyte. And then George kind of pushed him to the side for reasons nobody necessarily knows, but we have heard rumors. But anyway, part of it has to do with Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Nick knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Ahsoka's dead. George said it. Disney buys it. Ahsoka's back.
God, bloody! He just needs to buy a blurb doll. Just get it out of his system.
Yeah, seriously.
Dragon Reborn Darren sent another £10 super chat. Says, I apologise for not saying hi to you, Mr. H, and everyone on the panel. I hope you're all doing well and good. You don't need to apologise for that, but thanks all the same, dude. Appreciate that. Mac Lee for £2 says, Thrawn looks like a G. So does Balin. But they're going to die anyway. Who cares? Like,
yeah, they're all.
Palpatine comes back, so who cares? I don't know. It just doesn't do it for me when I know that. Like, you can't sit there and go like, Thrawn's the heir to the Empire, and for me to get excited when I know the Empire goes straight back to Palpatine, I'm like, I don't care.
Well, into the First Order.
Hassa Digger Jack Dorsey says prediction: Rey will become Darth Raider. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Wartooth for $5. I think this is a joke. Says Pedro Pascal was just cast as Wario for sequel and has demanded Chris Pratt be immediately fired. Phoebe Waller-Bridge as Mario instead.
There's some truth in the joke though, because there's some people who are championing Pedro Pascal for the role. Because who's it? Jack Black, I think it was, or somebody like Jack that Black. Said stuff about that. Yeah.
Well, this actually, let's shuffle on. This is pretty much our last topic now, actually. And this is to do with Kathleen Kennedy revealing what was happening with Rian Johnson's Star Wars trilogy, also Taika Waititi's trilogy. But also in all of that, we have people that have basically come out and said that the Kevin Feige stuff was never actually going to happen. I mean, Culture, there was part of the Star Wars Celebration interviews were Kathleen Kennedy basically came out and said, no, Kevin Feige was never confirmed. He was never actually going to do a Star Wars thing. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that was actually during the IGN interview. Has anybody else seen that? Because I've been digging into it. Yeah,
that's sort of an interview I was referring to earlier. Yeah.
So as you walk through that interview, I mean, she is really upset. I think Tom described it better than anybody else. I mean, she was really pissed that somebody was asking her questions about this stuff.
Oh, she did not like those questions.
No, and so she's been caught in a lot of lies. Well, she was just recently caught in another one.
Well, this is a pretty big lie to say that Kevin Feige was never
Kevin
announced,
Feige, diehard Star Wars fan, owner of multiple Hasbro Jabba's sail barges, and president of Marvel Studios, will now be able to add Star Wars producer to his list of achievements.
That's right. With the close of the Skywalker saga, Kevin Feige is set to co-produce an upcoming Star Wars movie with Kathleen Kennedy in a new era of Star Wars storytelling.
Remember that, Kathy?
What's even better is I think Michael Waldron might have something to say about. They didn't even have an idea. They didn't even have a pitch, I think is what she said.
And it's literally on the Star Wars official channel. Yep. Nothing would go out there unless it's approved. It would be given to them from down on high. The fact that she's trying to deny it, what are you doing?
It's asinine.
What are you actually doing?
Yeah. Can you link me that clip, Nate?
Yeah, well, it would be.
I mean, you don't got to do it now. Just.
Absolutely. And so, Tom, what's this that you just sent as well? What's this?
This whole thing must be news to Michael Waldron because he was working on the script 10 months ago.
Tom, can you link me that too?
Yeah, no problem. But
So this is why she's getting angry because she's caught gaslighting people.
Well, this is not the first time she's done it.
Caught. No, I know, but I mean, very bluntly,
get caught doing it. It was kind of the same thing during Rise of Skywalker when she got caught in all her bullshit. She's like, it's either she's lying or she has no friggin' clue what the hell's going on, or it's a mixture of both.
Well, I mean, she would know that she would know she's co-producing a film with Kevin Feige. Do you know what I mean? She would know. She would know she's co-producing a film with Kevin Feige. You can't.
Oh, she was throwing some shade. There is what she's doing. She is trying because this has been nothing but a thorn in her side since the moment it was announced. Because you know what that was? That was a vote of no confidence in her by Bob Iger.
Oh yeah, 100%.
That's what that was.
So let's get someone else involved. See if they can make something
not
good.
Just somebody else involved. Arguably, the only person who could compete with her in the annals of time for most prolific producer. This and basically this was at a time when they were at their lowest point too, and this was a huge FU from Bob Iger to her. And so, believe you me, this is her saying, no, he didn't have anything to do with it. That's what that whole thing was about. She's trying to throw some major shade at Kevin Feige.
Even though they announced it. That's the thing which cracks me up the most, is that even though they announced it. But this
to be fair about that, because it's very easy to say that it was announced, but here's the thing. These projects, they were never formally announced. They were soft announced by way of leaks straight from Lucasfilm to the industry trades, but not from the office of Disney and Bob Iger, which is part of the reason why Bob Chapek basically put out the memo. Kennedy, please freaking stop announcing all of these things just to show everyone what a goody two-shoes you are, because we have not approved of them, and we all look like idiots when the projects that you soft announce all inevitably fall apart.
Yeah. The funniest part of that interview was when she was talking about the when she started off that part of the questions where she was like, all these shelved. Oh no, it's not shelved. Development takes a long time. Like, really?
It doesn't take that long. It does not take that
3
long.
years, and we got nothing. From all your big announcements from 3 years ago. Come on, Kathy.
So, well, here's the interesting thing as well. I mean, it goes hand in hand with this, right? I think what they do, and I was saying this to Culture before we started the stream. I think what they do, right, is basically they announce the things like we know they soft announce them, whatever, and then for whatever reason they obviously fall apart and nothing gets happened, and then they just quietly phase them out. They just don't bother to say anything. And then they go, oh, it's not happening. What are you talking about? No. Because this is what we say about the Rian Johnson thing. Ryan and I talk all the time. Bearing in mind, the last stuff we heard about this officially was, we're all game. This is amazing. Yeah. We're full steam ahead. Ryan and I talk all the time. He is unbelievably busy, so not actively involved in anything at the moment. Because he's doing another one of the Glass Onion. It wasn't fucking heard of that long ago. He was in another one of the Glass Onion movies. And then God knows what else, Kathleen Kennedy said. But he really wants to step back into the space. And it's a big commitment of time. So that's really on him.
So they're passing the buck now. Back and forth.
It's everybody else's fault. She does that every time. It's not. I didn't do that. These people are busy. Taika's taking his time. She just actually said that Taika's really busy right now. He's taking his time with the script. He's a bit slow.
That's the other thing here. Taika's still working away. He's writing the script himself. Bearing in mind, Lucasfilm notorious for creative differences. He doesn't really want to bring others into that process, and I don't blame him. He has a very, very unique voice. So we want to protect that. And that's what he's doing. But we're going to make that one day. No, you're not. We'll hear it in like 3 years' time.
I honestly believe the Rian Johnson trilogy will happen first. And here's why I explain. Because she has an MO that has been spot on through this whole thing. She will bring in somebody who is hot. And then as soon as they have a moment of weakness, she will shit can them. She did it to
Colin
D&D,
Trevorrow, wasn't it?
Colin Trevorrow. She's done it to every single last one of them. Believe you me, Taika Waititi is not getting his movie. And I'll tell you another thing. The only reason I say that Rian Johnson might is because she stood behind him all the way through The Last Jedi, and he has had nothing but success since he left Star Wars. So believe it.
That,
she will
even
wait
mentions the success. Him. She's like, he's making a Glass Onion movie. Put it up.
She actually wants him to come and make this. Yeah. She is the only one in the world who wants him to come and do this. Because even Rian Johnson's getting to that point where he's saying exactly what Script Doctor and I said it was going to happen. And we said in a couple of years from now, you're going to get an interview with Rian Johnson. And after he's done all these other things, he's going to say, the Star Wars thing, it just wasn't for me. I found myself getting more connected with my smaller pictures. And I'm just not going to do that. Eventually down the road, that's what he'll say. And that'll be the end of it. Finally.
Yeah.
Finally. But they're just going to keep us dangling because Kathleen Kennedy wishes that she could have a Rian Johnson trilogy tomorrow.
She doesn't. I don't think she's got the kind of authority to move forward on a lot of these projects. I think that, it's all pie in the sky, get people jazzed up, and, maybe Daddy Iger will let me do one or two of these things. We don't know.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. I look at Star Wars 10 and I'm like, there is no audience will for consumption of that film.
That is one of her projects. Did you not tell from that interview? She has been nursing this along. That's the one Lindelof was working on.
I know.
Yeah.
She said this has been in the works for 2 years. And this is why we've been hearing rumors about Rey coming back for 2 years, guys. She has been behind this thing the whole time. And what was 2 years ago? 2 years ago is when Chapek inserted her ass back into Star Wars.
Yeah. I honestly, I hope this movie happens.
And the Filoni thing went down and everything else.
Wouldn't it?
Oh, I hope
Can you
it
imagine
happens.
Rey?
I would love.
Years.
I would love to just sit back and laugh at the box office numbers and whatever the budget is that they put into it.
$400 million. It's the most expensive Star Wars movie ever.
Well, I heard it's going to shoot
more than
alongside of the
Destiny.
Skywalker Rise of Palpatine movie. So since that's still shooting to this day.
Look, Dial of Destiny is its own disaster. I mean, for Lucasfilm, not for any other reason than I don't think it'll be able to perform at the box office well enough to make it profitable.
Which means he'll lose a Star Wars movie.
That's what I said. Yeah, like I think I even said it on your live stream. I was like, the only thing which is remotely appealing there is the James Mangold one set in the past, because it's James Mangold, and he is actually a good director and he is a good writer. When he's allowed to do his own thing, he is good. But they're announcing him because they're preemptively going, Indiana Jones might be successful, so we'll announce that he's got a film just in case it's successful. And the moment it's not, which it won't be, because it can't be, because the money's not going to be there, because it can't be on that budget, then they'll go silence. Just like they did with Rian Johnson.
Because of scheduling conflicts or creative differences. It's going to be scheduling conflicts or creative differences. Same thing happened with D&D with from Game of Thrones until that last season ended, and then boom, they got that Netflix deal, and the Star Wars thing was the Star Wars thing was gone.
The irony of that, Nick, is, and I know you know this, but the irony is that they rushed the ending of Game of Thrones so they could get to Star Wars.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the irony of the whole thing.
And then they didn't even get it because of their poor workmanship on that last season and the backlash they got for it.
God damn.
Well, and then Tom, correct me if I'm wrong, but the one that I think we're likely to hear next from Lucasfilm as an excuse for one of these projects not coming together is going to be we couldn't lock in the script.
Yeah, that'll be one of them.
Well, with the whole Damon Lindelof one, and they've been working, because I don't know who was working on it before him, but clearly this is a project they've been nursing along now for 2 years. And this list keeps growing. There's ones that aren't even on the list here.
Yeah. There's like
we've learned more, right? at least of 2 more. And this is all the ones we don't know about, is just probably staggering. Because we just recently learned
the funny thing about the Damon Lindelof one, right, is that they lost 2 writers and gained 1 back.
Yeah.
So Stephen Knight's writing it, but they lost 2 writers for the film anyway.
Yeah.
You should update that, Tom, and repost it.
Well, I didn't even make this in the first place, but I should. And I did give credit to where I got it from on my original post. But David, we just recently learned David Gordon Green was up for a movie. And then all of a sudden when Halloween 3 tanked, guess what? He wasn't no more.
Yeah.
Sean Levy is another person who recently was said to have been in talks for a Star Wars project as well. So again, that makes me wonder, how many other people have we not heard about?
Oh, it's going to be loads. It's going to be countless.
And I wonder how many female directors, because that's her thing. She has had this, she's been hung up for years to try and get female directors involved with Star Wars. How many other women has she tried to work with besides Patty Jenkins and it not work out?
Yeah, true.
No way. This if any of those projects ain't gonna happen, the Chinoy one, the one with she's doing the Ray.
That's the Ray project.
Yeah, but I guarantee you she ends up not being the one to actually end up doing it. That wouldn't surprise me at all.
Well, she's an activist, documentary filmmaker. I mean, it makes no sense to employ her in that role.
Well, and I said when Damon Lindelof dropped off that movie, because that was before we knew that was the Ray project, I said, well, we'll know if that was his idea or if it was a writing for hire deal when we see the movie and if it says it was based on a story by Lindelof or not. We didn't even have to wait. We got the answer this weekend. That is the Ray project that she's been nursing along for 2 years. Like you just said, it doesn't matter how many writers and directors are going to end up on this thing by the end of the day. It'll probably happen, but This one has like a 50-50 shot at this point. The rest of them, I don't know. The Mandalorian one will happen, but I don't think Taika Waititi's is going to happen. I don't think that other one they just announced is going to happen.
No.
This is,
Well, think about all the Star Wars games that have been canceled too under Disney. Like,
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, like, wasn't there like a Vader or something game that was supposed to come out? Immortal.
That was,
that was VR. That was a VR game.
Did it come out?
And there was also.
Oh, I'd never heard about it. So okay.
Well, the big one was an Amy Hennig written. I think it was Amy Hennig anyway. It was writing. It was like a level 31 or something like that. I can't remember what it was
13.
That's the one. Yeah, that was supposed to be amazing.
Yeah, the underground and on Coruscant, smugglers, bounty hunters,
Adult.
Yep. And then as soon as Disney bought it, they trashed it. It's like, why would you do that? So many fans are looking forward to this.
And then they released they released some previs stuff for it as well, and it looked pretty good.
There was a trailer for it and everything.
Fucking idiots, absolute idiots. So we do have we got a member, Sir Boy of Lard. Love that name. That is one of the best names ever. Has been a member for 11 months. That's supporter level 0.5. So thank you so much. And then we also had Haunted for $3. Sent a thumbs up super sticker. Thank you so much. I think that kind of rounds us out really for this stream. I think there's not an awful lot else to sort of dive into with all of this. I mean, unless there was anything that you picked up on from Star Wars Celebration that we not really covered there, Nick. Was there anything else? I thought it was pretty much it, really.
There's so much, but that was kind of the main stuff. Me and Coach are putting videos together, just little quick snippets and clips from interviews and stuff that we're hitting on, just real quick short videos.
Yeah.
I'm actually dropping one later tonight. So yeah, it's all minor kind of stuff, not anything big. We covered the main stuff.
So
just real quick, Olaf, I did get Felicity Poubel's member chat. I did promise. I did get to it. I don't know. Yeah, you didn't hear it, my dude, but yeah, I did actually get to that. Just want to clarify. I don't want people thinking I didn't get to a member chat because I do. But yeah. So what were you gonna say, Culture? Sorry.
Oh, nothing. I was just gonna say. So yeah.
Yeah. Goodness me. Goodness me. Yeah, that video's done so well. I'm so glad everyone enjoyed it.
The copium afterwards has been amazing too. Yeah.
Oh, it's been so much fun. So much fun. The video was so much fun to do as well. I really enjoyed that. That was a good laugh.
Well, and it's not just Grace, but she's just a glaring example of it. But yeah.
Well, it's just everyone, isn't it?
It's the whole media complex deal. They're trying to cope with this whole idea that a movie can just be entertaining and not have the message.
It could just be an actual film by itself. It's a pretty decent film. Just is what it is. So basically, Nick, that's what you're getting up to, isn't it? Basically, these little clips about Star Wars Celebration stuff, some updates on that. That's what you're up to. Any chill streams on the horizon there?
No, I'm not doing any chill stream tonight.
Whoa.
I am going to be on with Jeff Hicks over at World Class Bullshitters talking about Celebration tonight. And then we might be, our chill stream Thursday night might be canceled too because we might be going on Drunk 3PO's channel. We're just waiting for confirmation. He hit us up yesterday with some stuff he was wanting to do. So there might actually be no chill stream this week, Nate.
Oh, no. Well... Just as I've still got 650 of you in here, guys, in the link in the description box, you'll see Mr. H Reviews live archives. Head on down there, hit subscribe. It's a second channel where these get clipped and they also go up there in a playlist. It's the best bits of these, this podcast basically. So please do hit subscribe down there. Trying to get to 10,000 subscribers. We're almost there. So that'd be really, really cool if you could do that. Well, I've got a chill stream on Sunday, so I'll be doing that. And of course, we've got the second podcast of the week on Thursday, which hopefully all of you guys can attend, I think. Unless, Andre, you're ducking out again?
I hope so. I may be late.
You hope you're going to duck out? God.
No. And again, that time isn't great for me. I'll let you know, but I'll do my best to be there.
Yeah, well, we had to because Critical Drinking stream at the same time.
Yeah, so. I know.
Just made sense, really. It was me being dumb, setting it all up, not thinking about. I didn't think anyway. Culture, what have you got coming up?
Hopefully, I'll be able to get my script finished for the video I've been working on about Disney. I still haven't been able to put it all together and get the clips and images that I want, but I do my daily 6-minute daily every weekday, and that's a lot of fun. And then I hang out with the Midnight Edge crew, and I hang out with you, and sometimes Nick invites me to do things, and I just go where I'm told. People just point and click.
Well, so you need to watch Renfield this week. So it's out on Friday. I'll be watching Renfield.
I can't wait for that. I have to see if it's when it's out in Norway.
I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Look at watching Nicolas Cage as Dracula hamming it up. Yes, please.
I have been excited for that movie since the day it was announced. I remember when we covered it live. I was like, "Oh, we have another topic. New Dracula movie."
It's gonna be so good.
Nicolas Cage.
So good. Tom, what have you got coming up, buddy?
After Dark here in just over an hour, and hopefully we'll have a video before long on the main channel, and hopefully by tomorrow morning.
Very nice. Very, very good. So yeah, everyone's channels should be linked in the description box. So please do check them out as well. But from me and everyone else, thank you so much. Again, we do this podcast every Tuesday and Thursday. Thursday's a little bit earlier. Starts 2 hours earlier than the one on Tuesday. It's just for scheduling conflicts with other people that are streaming at the time, so you guys don't have to choose. But thank you so much, ladies and gents. I do appreciate it. We had one final super chat drop in. Sorry, just before we go, Al Humphreys for £5 says, "So Mr. H, was you saying that the cinema you go to is Empire? I think they're all better. I think they're well better than Odeon. There's one in Sutton. I do go to an Empire. Yeah, cheap, really cheap, and they just work. They're fine. I do like them. But anyway, thank you so much for joining. From me and everyone else. Bye bye. Take care.
Bye, guys.